Bhagat Sahab, you can respond to whatever. Is there a danger of, I don't know, a lot of people have used the word Lebanon, but I'll use a word this academically, balkanization of Northeast?
Yeah, see, you got it to the right point, Kartikeya. But I would like to see the whole issues. I won't go, responding to Swan and my other friend one by one. That's not my job. And if I do that, I fall into a particular line of narrative, which I had been trying to avoid myself. The kind of politics and the discourse of politics that is happening within the region in which Manipur becomes a part. And another larger politics, which involves Bangladesh, Myanmar, and India, this particular region. They are to be seen. In our discourses, unfortunately, except for General Saab, either we are talking of the very close kind of a politics, inter-ethnic politics, and almost forgetting the connections that are there internationally. And unless we look into those, we might miss the point. So coming first to the internal politics of the state and the region, till the other day, few years back, Biren Singh was one of the most favorite of the Hill communities, Hill MLAs. And many Meiteis felt in his first regime, 5 years, that he was going for an appeasement politics. All his politics of going to the hills and so on, and alienating the Meiteis. So many Meiteis felt that he somehow is trying to appease the tribes people from the hills. But nonetheless, the kind of antagonism that happened during the regime of Ibobi Singh somehow has been taken care of by Biren. And we thought that people are coming together. He's being accepted in Senapati and other Naga inhabited areas. We thought, well, this is a good move. Even if he's appeasing, what is wrong with that? If people can live amicably. Now, when did it start? Suddenly that Biren become a devil. And the point is, it has to do with the issue of deforestation and eviction of the people encroaching onto the forest, and lots of debate onto that. I'm not going into the details, but this perhaps is a triggering point where Biren Singh suddenly, and that also he woke up suddenly. I say he woke up suddenly in 2020-21, and so that there are so much of deforestation and poppy plantation, after which the heroin and other narcotics are being traded throughout Myanmar, India, and even the trading has reached up to Gujarat. If you remember, in Adani port, lots of heroin amounting to crores of rupees. Yeah. So suddenly Biren became a devil in disguise. But deeper politics is that 2 days back, Kartik, you might have noticed, one of the chief of the UKLF, a Kuki militant organization who is under sue with the government of India and Manipur state government, came up very candidly, and I was surprised to say that the BJP government has to keep their promise, which they gave to us when they supported their candidature. Mind you, there are 10 BJP MLAs in the Manipur Assembly, among the Kukis, and out of which 2 are cabinet ministers. And some of them are very, very close to Biren Singh. Many of the policies and program in the last few years were taken along with them. So you cannot say that it is Biren Singh doing a devilish work. So the cabinet ministers, the MLAs, the BJP, 10 BJP MLAs from Kuki communities, they are part of the administration. And this voice of the UKLF chief saying that they supported militarily using arms to get them elected. And in lieu that this whole their dream of a separate administration will be fulfilled. And if they don't fulfill, then we will have to take up different steps. And this is on record. Already 2 days back, it is in the media. I can even share it with you. Now, this tells us a larger politics, unholy alliance between democratic polity of this country with the armed insurgent groups who are being used, unfortunately, by the state machineries themselves. Now, this has to be, I won't go further. I mean, you know it better than me, what this implies. And is it that these militants are somehow being used for political purposes? And if this continues, it will not be very far away when you find another, what you call Khalistan movement and Bhindrewale coming, what you saw in Punjab, or what you saw
Can I
LPT
refine
and
your
Pradhan.
statement, Bhagat Saab? Electoral purposes?
This is what I say. This is what this gentleman, the leader of the UKLF, is saying, that we supported the BJP candidates to win election. And now they have to keep the promise of giving us what we want. This is what on record. Now, another point, now let me shift Kartikeya to the larger politics of the subcontinent. At this point in time, when we are talking in the last few months, Myanmar is on turmoil. As General Saab has very clearly said, the military junta is really into the offensive against the minority communities, in which Kuki Chin groups are one. And they do not have any control over, I mean, correct me, sir, if I am mistaken, whether in the Sangang province, San province, or Chin province, they do not have complete control. The state of Burma or Myanmar is only largely in the southern part and central, up to Mandalay and those areas. But in the north, northeast, then what you call northwest, the state doesn't really function. There are armed militants. So there are armed militants of the Chin, there are armed militants of the Kachin, and so on, that keeps fighting. And this fight, the turmoil that is happening in Myanmar, please see whether it has any repercussion on India. Second, at the same time, the Chittagong Hills of Bangladesh, there is a military offensive by the Bangladesh army against the Chin group, the Kuki Chin group. What you call Kuki in this side, they call Chin in the other side. So there has been some autonomy claim and several issues, and the Bangladesh army is having combing operation against the Chin militants there. And if you also look at the dreams of some of the militant groups, the idea of Jalengam or Joram, I don't know how feasible it is, but in the last 40 to 50 years, the imagined homeland, which comprises of Chittagong regions of Bangladesh, Chin and certain Sagang division parts of Myanmar, Mizoram and certain part of Manipur, is a contiguous area inhabited by largely distinct Kuki groups. So a dream land that has been thought of and has been visualized cannot be completely done away or not been taken seriously, thinking that these are a faraway dream. But many things that is happening in India, particularly in Manipur, may have larger linkages with these dreams. Separate administration, what does it really mean? First, when I say you, the militants I'm talking of, it's a very well-planned program of completely wiping out the Meitei population from Churachandpur and expecting repercussion to come from the valley, which happened. And Meiteis have fallen into this line, and these areas exclusively inhabited by a community. This happened with the Nagas and Kukis. What was Naga Kuki class all about, 1992 to 1997, where thousands of people died from both sides, where about this area, which is exclusively inhabited by Kukis, exclusively inhabited by the Nagas. So this politics, partisan exclusivity is detrimental to the democracy of this country. And I am afraid that if this carry on, there will be further and further bloodshed. Now, so-called, and this will be my last point, the so-called Chin Kuki Jomi group, if I am not mistaken, the Paites control the Churachandpur city, Mars are a significant community, and Kuki Thado groups are yet another. Then the Wi-Fis, these are another. So-called this Kuki Chin Jomi group right now, at this point, they had intra-conflict so much that more than 380 people died when Paites and Kukis clashed among themselves. So the Meitei and the Kuki Chin group clash is only costing 100 lives, but more than 300 lives have been lost in the internal fight among the Kuki Chin groups. There were also fights between the Mars and the Kukis. And Kukis even went up to the extent in Assam, and they had a fight with Dimasa. And let me tell you, one of the customary laws of the Kukis, unlike the Nagas, is this nomadic nature of the kingship, that one chieftain will take and can always, start a new village with few families. And this expansion of settlement often clash with other communities. Naga Kuki clash was precisely out of this customary practice of the Kukis, which infringes into what the Nagas claim their land. This happened with the Dimasas. And this even has happened in Chorachandpur, Vishnupur areas. So even these practices need to be really rethought. But more important point with which I end up is the kind of divisive politics that you see among the Kukichin Mizo Jomi group is something very dangerous for Indian state in the long run. And I will not be surprised if there are repercussions that can happen with the armed groups which the Indian army, particularly what I called Assam Rifles, have groomed and used for counterinsurgency program, and it has succeeded. It has succeeded in large scale, wiping out the valley-based insurgents from Manipur Valley, even from Churachandpur, Faizol area, with the help of the Kuki militants. So that has been a success story, but at what price? That is a big question one needs to see.
I think